There are moments when I feel the air itself pauses between your breath and mine, a quiet trembling in the unseen distance where hearts speak in softer languages than words. I close my eyes and listen to the rhythm of time folding in on itself, carrying the echo of your voice through corridors of memory. Every whisper of wind becomes your sigh, every brush of light across my face, your unseen touch. I think of you between the seconds that separate dawn from day, between the hush before confession and the warmth after forgiveness. It is in that sliver of stillness, that fragile silence, where love waits, pure, patient, undemanding. I reach for you, not with hands, but with hope, because even oceans bow to the pull of something unseen. I have learned that distance is not measured in miles, but in missed moments, in the ache that lingers when laughter fades. And though the space between us stretches like an endless horizon, I feel you there, woven into every heartbeat I own, like a pulse shared across invisible lines, forever whispering, I am with you even when I am not. Sometimes I imagine the air around me shimmering with your memory, like sunlight caught in a net of longing. The way your name forms on my lips feels like a promise I keep making to the wind, as if it could find you faster than I ever could. I carry your absence like a fragile glass, filled with fire, too bright to ignore, too breakable to set down. I wonder if you feel it too, that invisible thread pulling softly at the soul, urging it home. My heart moves in slow symphonies, in waves of remembering, composing your presence in every quiet breath I take. Nights are my secret cathedral, built of thoughts of you, where prayers are whispered not to be answered, but simply to be heard by the one they're meant for. I wonder if love in its truest form lives not in closeness, but in the ache of distance, where longing refines it into something purer, something that cannot fade. And so, in every pause between my heartbeats, I keep you alive. Each day begins with your name rising uninvited in my mind, a dawn that knows no horizon without your light. I wake to the ghost of your laughter and the imagined warmth of your breath against my skin. The world stirs around me, birds, bells, gentle chaos, but beneath it all runs the same truth. You are my quiet constant. I carry you like a melody beneath all sound, a secret rhythm that keeps me steady when the day feels too wide. Even when I speak to others, it is you my heart converses with, your voice echoing softly behind every thought. There are times I write to you without pen or paper, letting my heart compose letters you'll never see, but somehow always feel. In those invisible exchanges, our souls converse beyond time, like stars whispering across galaxies. If love could bridge every distance, I would already be in your arms. Until then, I walk through days built of almosts and tomorrows, holding faith that even in silence your heart still calls to mine in the unseen distance between heartbeats. Night deepens, and with it comes the familiar ache, the weight of stars, reminding me of how far light must travel to reach another. I look up and think of you, wondering if your eyes have also found the same constellation, if you, too, are tracing stories into the sky and finding me there between the brightest points. There is comfort in knowing we share the same sky, the same moon, pulling tides of longing within us both. I speak to the night, as if it were your ear, confessing how I miss you, not in grand ways, but in the quiet, the moments when the world forgets to make noise, and I can finally hear the echo of your name inside me. My heart does not know geography, it only knows you. I hold on to that thought when distance feels like a cruel sea, reminding myself that even stars are apart and still burn together. So, I let love be my orbit, circling endlessly around the memory of your warmth, never close enough to touch, but never far enough to fade. There are days when I almost convince myself I've grown used to the silence between us. But then, the smallest thing, a song, a scent, a shift in the wind, undoes me completely. I find you in the unlikeliest places, the way sunlight lands on a wall, the reflection of rain on cobblestone, the hush before sleep. Every bit of beauty I encounter feels like a message from you, a reminder that distance can't dull what the heart has sworn to remember. I have stopped fighting the ache. Instead, I wear it like a crown, one made of longing, yes, but also of devotion. To love someone from afar is to trust the invisible. It is to believe that hearts can touch without meeting, that whispers can travel farther than footsteps. And so, I let this love stretch its quiet wings within me, flying each night toward the place where your heart beats, carrying pieces of mine across the dark. Sometimes I close my eyes and imagine the moment we meet again, how the world might still, how time might tremble at the mercy of reunion. I think of your smile, the one that could teach stars new ways to shine, and how my hands will remember the shape of you, even after years of reaching into emptiness. Love like this does not fade. It deepens in the waiting, ripening like fruit in the dark. I've learned patience from missing you, learned faith from silence, learned tenderness from longing. There is poetry even in the ache, a melody in the distance that only our hearts can hear. If I could gather all my yearning and turn it into wings, I'd fly through every barrier, every impossible horizon, until I could rest against your heartbeat and call it home. But for now, I find beauty in the distance itself, because every mile between us is a testament to how far love can stretch and still remain whole. Your absence has become a mirror in which I see my truest self. Fragile, yet fierce, waiting, yet unwavering. I have grown used to conversing with ghosts of moments, replaying laughter that once danced through air between us. Sometimes I imagine that the world bends slightly when I think of you, that somewhere, something tilts just enough for your heart to feel it. The universe feels smaller when I whisper your name into the night, as though love itself shortens the distance with every breath. I have written your name in the margins of my thoughts, carved it into the spaces between hours. Every time I breathe, it feels like a small act of devotion, a way of saying, I still choose you, even when choosing means waiting. Maybe this distance was never meant to break us, but to shape us into something stronger, something eternal. Because when two hearts beat for each other, even silence becomes a song. Even absence becomes its own form of presence. I sometimes wonder if you can sense it, the quiet pulse of my affection moving toward you, crossing unseen lands. When I speak to the wind, I imagine it carrying my voice, brushing against your cheek, in the softest whisper of my name. It comforts me to think that love travels like light, bending around obstacles, finding its way, no matter the distance. I remember your eyes, how they once held an entire ocean, and I think, perhaps, they still do, one that calls me across every impossible shore. I write poems in my mind and send them to the sky, believing that somewhere in the rhythm of your heartbeat you might hear them. There is a holiness in this kind of love, one that thrives on faith alone, that believes even absence can be beautiful if it's filled with devotion. So I keep waiting, not as a prisoner of distance, but as a guardian of the space between us, trusting that every heartbeat brings me one breath closer to you.